Hi, good morning. Kenny here. What a fantastic morning. Today's the next day after that video I posted yesterday, my first channel video. And one of the things that I noticed in looking at it, and I need to do better, much better, at eye contact with the camera. I'm a little bit shy anyway, but talking into the camera is new to me for sure. And I know I need to do a better job at that moving forward. So I'm going to work on that. Also, I tended to, at least felt like a couple of times, I repeated myself a fair amount. Again, this is probably where editing comes into play, is my guess. And I should figure out how that all works, hopefully, over the coming weeks and figure out what program I'm going to use and go from there. I'm not a videographer. I'm not a video guy as far as being able to edit things, but I know what looks good and what doesn't. And I think that first video was pretty, pretty brutal as far as my eye contact, looking at the camera and stuff. Anyway, I'll try to do a better job at that. Uh, Today's a great day outside. It's even though it's raining and misty and foggy, it's still another beautiful day up here. And uh, my wife went back to work today. The school break is over, and so she's back to work today. And so it's just me and my puppy hanging out. About 4 months ago, I decided to correct some health problems, issues that I've had, mainly my diet and lack of regimented exercise. And I think that um, I'm going to start off really, really slow and I started this morning uh, with some real lightweight exercises and some cardio that I'll do. And, you know, in the summer, spring and summer and early fall, I'm outside virtually every day, but it's not a regimented exercise, but I'm out working pretty much doing something, whether it's sitting on my butt mowing the lawn or, you know, lifting, you know, firewood and cutting firewood up and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot to it, but I know that uh, my exercise routine needs to be improved dramatically. Um, about the end of August or so, I had a blood test, and they said that my A1C was high, and I could see why. I mean, I was just eating and drinking pop that was fully loaded with sugar, and my downside is ice cream and cookies. I love ice cream and cookies, but all of that stuff. Uh, I put on a fair amount of weight, but what got my attention and what got the doctor's attention was my A1C levels. It continued to climb the last three blood tests. So he wanted to put me on some medication like Ozempic, only it was a pill form of Ozempic, and I said I don't have any interest in that at all, zero interest. And I think I could try. Let me try to correct this situation through diet. So at the end of August, I had my last dish of pasta. I had my last piece of bread. Uh, I had my last fully loaded pop, and I don't drink alcohol anymore. That stopped a couple years, 2 or 3 years ago now. But uh, this basically eliminated bad sugars and um, watching my carb intake. So it's high protein right now. I know I can't sustain that for very long, but I've been on it now for 4 months. I'm down 30 pounds. Not that that means a whole lot, but I definitely feel a lot better. I'm more mobile and more flexible now than I was. But um, that's where the exercise routine is going to help, I think, as well. Uh, yeah, I can't continue down the path I was on for sure. As we all know, as we get a little bit older, it's harder to keep yourself in shape and you know be healthy. So that's where I've been doing now. I strictly I call it the carnivore diet, but I've just been cutting out all the crap that I was eating before and just eating normal, I guess, if you will, instead of flooding myself with bad sugars and all that kind of stuff. I'm not an expert on my diet at all, but I did correct my A1C. Uh, the the graph that the last three tests I had just kept going like this, kept going up and up and up and up. And this last test I had in December, it just went, it went back to normal. I'm at a normal range, and so that feels good. And plus, I'm down some pounds, and my clothes are definitely fitting a lot looser than they were 4 months ago, for sure. Besides, I got a wedding to get ready for, right? I got my daughter's getting married. I gotta look good. I gotta get my jam going here. So, yeah, that's that story. And also I think it coupled with the fact that I retired at the beginning of the year, even though I've been working from home for 5 years prior to that, I think I was just not paying attention last year to my health as much as I should, and the doctor helped me to correct that by getting in my face and telling me I needed to make some changes, or else he basically put the fear of God into me, if you will. I don't want to get, you know, have be diabetic. If I can avoid that, that'd be great. And I think I've corrected this issue just through diet, and now I'm starting an exercise regime that I hope I can stick with. I'm going to start out really, really slow, um, and just work towards better. My goal is to have better flexibility and more better muscle tone, because I'm starting to lose muscle tone as I get older. Although I'm still pretty strong, it's just that my muscle tone doesn't. It's not like it was when I was 20 years younger, for sure. So I'm going to correct that. Hopefully, I can get in front of that over the next 6 months to a year and see about correcting some of the things I want to do. Got some goals in mind too. But anyway, just enjoying the day today. I'm on the back patio. We call it the cold room, but it's an area where it's actually where my office used to be. I used to have my office back here, and I overlooked. That looks to the north. That's basically where you're looking, is to the north. It's pretty fogged in right now, but that hillside on the back of me there, and then we're at the foothills of the Cascades, like I said, but that's all. Anything beyond the property line is all Weyerhaeuser property, which is they are obviously one of the largest private landowners in America right now. It's a big company, but Weyerhaeuser owns a lot of the property around here that surrounds this 60-acre chunk. So, but yeah, it's raining out there today. It's going to rain pretty much most of the day, which is a good day to be inside. One of the things that I found in the last year, and I knew it was going to be a problem, was that for those first 3 months I was retired last year, they were brutal. Um, I had been running on the hamster wheel for years, and all of a sudden I just jumped off. But I did know in the back of my mind that it was going to be a bit of a problem, and um, so I wasn't like overly surprised, but I was surprised at how much time I had on my hands, and because I've been so used to not having if I do a project, for instance, I rush to get it done, and I sometimes don't necessarily do the best job, but I get the project done because I know I'm running out of time, and that's a big indicator as to what has changed over my life in the last year. I can now take my time and do things the way I want to get them done, and not be so pressed for getting the thing accomplished before I had to get back into my work mode, which was pretty consuming, especially those last 5 years when I was working from home. I know work from home is a big thing, and believe me, when I started working from home, it was a big game changer for me. My commute round trip to the office is 3 hours a day. I'm 50 miles from the office from this location, and uh, being able to work from home those last 5 years was a major game changer. But it also came with a cost, and that cost was I was consumed with and never could shut it off. Even I had a hard time shutting it off when I wasn't working from home, my work life, but it made it worse when I was working from home. That's the best way I can describe it. It was all consuming, and I I did everything in my power. Uh, not I'm a pretty efficient guy and pretty squared away and organized. I became even more so when I worked from home because I had very little interruption. Not a lot of people in the office, were interrupting my day, but I I got better at it and got really, really efficient at it. But I also had more difficulty, I would say, shutting it off, and I burned myself out for sure. I know I did. Um, but again, that 3 hour commute was killing me anyway, and so I think that you make one sacrifice and another one pops up, you know, and that's what happened with me anyway. I I got pretty well burned out those last, well, especially the last year and a half. So decided to hang it up. Uh, but now I've got the time on my hands to, like I said, do my projects that I want to get done. And we worked on quite a few already this year. We got some things accomplished that I wanted to get done. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. I think I mentioned that my last video on the property that we live on and the restoration of it. We're going to do what we can and just hopefully get it to a point where it's being managed with, maintenance routines and not having to uh, do any significant cleanup efforts or repair efforts. Um, it was it's been quite a ride for sure. Um, I can sense myself not looking at the camera enough, and I need to work on that. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I guess maybe focus on the camera more, but I'm not used to talking to the camera, and I apologize for that. Other than that, today again, uh, going to be an inside day today for the most part. I may have to go gather some firewood for the front porch, but I'll do that in between showers. Uh, it's that time of year. It's January in the Pacific Northwest. December, January are brutal here. Last month, we had here on the property over 20 inches of rain just in December, and about 85 inches total for the year. That's a significant amount of rain. First of all, in the 1 month in December, it saturated the grounds, and it, it's so wet out that I haven't seen it like this before. And normally we would get the threat of snow, and that still has a chance to happen for January and February. But it's just been so unseasonably warm and wet, and we need snowpack in the mountains here in the Cascades because it's pretty much non-existent, and we need more. We need snowpack, and it's the key to obviously uh, drinking water and fire suppression, and really that's what it is. Because if we don't get snowpack, we're in a little bit of a trouble, I think. Even though we got 22 inches of rain in December, there's no water up on the mountain. It's all coming off. It's all hitting the ground and going into the ground and coming through the streams and going to the rivers and out to the ocean. And we need snowpack. So today it's raining again, of course, like it has been for the last month. But like I said, December, January are going to be pretty brutal for rainfall up in the Pacific Northwest. For those of you that are in the Midwest dealing with freezing cold temperatures and snow. My heart is out to you, and I hope that you're getting through it just like you do every year. And we'll get through this just like we do here every year. I've had people say in the neighborhood here, it's like living in a rainforest, and I believe that that is actually a very good assessment. So anyway, yeah, it's still the fog is starting to lift a little bit out there. It's definitely drippy, rainy, kind of a drippy, rainy day. Uh, gonna go get some stuff done here and work on some future content videos. Again, video, or I should say, the channel is going to be about a bit about my life story. Even though I could probably tell the story fairly quickly, but I think there's quite a few things that have happened that I find to be interesting, and hopefully you will too. Other than that, enjoy the day, be safe, be well, and make good choices. Bye bye now.